Next we have Vicky with Women in Tech.
All right, good evening, everyone. For the next 10 minutes, I will be sharing what it's like being a woman in tech. So I'm going to be sharing some of my personal experiences and as well as some numbers because as MBA students, I know how much you all love that. But I do recognize the fact that not everyone comes from the industry. So to kick things off, what do you think working in tech is like? Just feel free to shout it out.
Fun.
Fun? Fast? One more? Relaxed. Right, so the past 4 years I've been working in tech, and this is what working in tech for me looked like. It was really fast, really fun, definitely not relaxed. To just give you guys a brief background, I jumped into the tech rabbit hole back in 2016. I joined as a volunteer at Slush. Slush is a not-for-profit organization originally from Finland. They run one of the world's biggest tech conferences, and they're leading community builder within the scene. I was part of their Japan team, started off with their startup operations. So that was basically biz dev. Eventually, the CEO left, and I managed to grab my seat as one of the leadership teams as chief marketing officer. So that's what I did for a little bit. But in between that, I was also helping out different communities across Asia. Since it is a not-for-profit, there wasn't really a lot of competition involved. So we were helping out different events from Taiwan, China, and as well as Thailand, which is definitely one of my favorites. But after that, I felt like it was a good time to do a transition. So I thought, why not enter something that was really different and something I would never have jumped into, which was fintech. So literally on my first week, that's me with the tuna. We had a sushi party. So it is definitely fun, but I joined a team of 50 with only 5 women. So it was really difficult, but I was lucky to have strong women beside me. I was also fortunate enough to work with a bunch of really cool companies, and I think this embodies how important it is for tech companies to do collaboration. So there are a lot of inroads for not only women, but anyone who works in tech to be able to work with amazing companies, but it doesn't make it easy for us to snag a leadership role. And on that note, some challenges that women face in the tech industry. Number one are predators. Take that as you will. So there are those people who would take advantage of you if you're in a good role. And there are those from investors to founders who would take advantage of women who are just entering the industry. There is also an unconscious bias, not only from men, but literally from everyone. If you're a woman in tech, there's this assumption that you're not deserving of your seat. So it's really all about providing that standing your ground and really being able to get over imposter syndrome, which is the third point, which who here has experienced imposter syndrome or knows what it is? It's basically that feeling that you get when you feel like you're not enough. So that's something that I think it's not only in tech, but it's literally in every industry. And there are gatekeepers. So there are people who are trying to get into tech, and there are those who are quote unquote successful. The problem here is the number is so small that some women in tech, they close the gate, lock it, throw the key. So these are some of the challenges that women face within the industry. And some stats. There haven't been much growth when it comes to female leaders. Let's take one, for example, Amazon, because we all love Amazon. They've only had 25% of their leadership team as women back in 2018, and that hasn't really grown that much. In 2020, they have 27%. So I know this probably looks really sad, but it actually gives us better opportunities to push for more seats for women. And it doesn't get any better for female founders, which I think Tanya could relate to. So this is actually a report by Extend Ventures, where they did an assessment of the investments that happened in 2020 and only 2.87% went to women-led teams. And that's really shocking, but only 1 out of 4 startups are founded by women, and investments are really difficult for them to find. But luckily, there are amazing leaders, female leaders out there who are building ventures such as these, who are dedicating their funds just for women. And this is something that I used to help with when I was with Slush. But obviously, there are also some good stuff. So the culture part of working in the tech scene is really great. You get a lot of freedom. Literally been working remote since 2016. I've never really had to work in an office where there was strict time. I never had to clock in, clock out. I had unlimited vacations, and all my trips were paid. So that basically jumps into the perks and compensation. So in some companies, you get vesting, good signing bonus, and the great thing about it is you can negotiate. And that's something that I think if you're a woman and you're thinking of going into tech, definitely negotiate, because statistically women only get paid 87% of their male counterpart, which is much lower. So there is still that pay gap. You can easily change focus and enter new verticals, as I did. From a community builder, I managed to go into fintech as a consultant. So there's definitely a lot of flexibility, because there's focus on bigger things, not just whatever is on your resume. There is also the focus on soft skills, but I'd rather call them strong skills. A lot of companies put importance in grit, passion, how much you're willing to do for the company, and if you believe in what they're trying to achieve. I feel like that's the difference with most bigger corporate companies, wherein they just need you for a certain position, wherein in tech, there's a lot of passion-driven work that's going on. And there are tons of problems to solve, which makes things really exciting. It really changes your perspective of things, and you can try new things almost every day. Some learnings if you're a woman or man who is thinking of going into tech, just know your stuff. So if you want to go in as a marketing expert, know your stuff. Just be an expert in marketing. Or if you're thinking of going in as a developer, develop your skills. There will be a lot of times where you'll be questioned about whether or not you're capable of doing the job, but if you know your stuff, then you're going to be fine. Provide a helping hand. Something that I see a lot is like people going around and speaking to people within the industry because they want something out of them. Never do this. Make sure to create relationships and don't go into conversations hoping to get something out of that person. Be brave and speak up. This is mostly related to your self-belief as well. So if somebody's talking over you or they don't believe in you, just make sure to, muster that courage and speak up for yourself, because nobody else will. And continue to learn, be curious. Skills and results are definitely very important if you're working in the tech scene. And continuous learning, hence why I'm in an MBA. And there are definitely male allies out there. Out of the 45 men that I was working with in the fintech company, majority of them were supportive male allies. And these male allies will stand with you and help you retain your ground when you're trying to be brave and speak up. And that's pretty much it.
Thank you, Vicky. It was a really interesting.
I tried to be faster.
You are in time. Thank you. This is for you. Name of the university. And we will go for the next.